I'm here at the moment with Alwyn McCombe. We call him Ollie. Ollie was over in Pittsburgh with us way back, I think, in 1998 or 99 on
99.
the old on the IFI Wider Horizons program, and enjoyed Pittsburgh so much that he came back a second time for Walsh Visa, the program that allowed young people from Ireland to get a thorough work experience here with us in Pittsburgh. So let me first of all say welcome to Alwyn McCombe. Hello, hi Ollie, how you doing?
Hi Jim, good to see you again.
It's good to see you too. Ollie, remind me now what your hometown is in Northern Ireland.
Omagh, County Tyrone.
You're from Omagh, County Tyrone originally. You don't live there now, but that's where you're from originally.
Yeah. Now I'm living in Eastbourne since 2002.
And for those that don't know, explain where Eastbourne is.
It's in East Sussex, directly south of London in England, obviously.
Great. Very good. If you can kind of remember, what was it originally that brought you to Pittsburgh or made you think, oh, here's a program, I think I'll go on this. What drove that? What motivated you to come to Pittsburgh originally?
Two things. Well, actually three things really. Going to the States. I've been to the United States in 1988 in Louisiana. I was only 15 and I stayed with a host family. I think everybody sort of grows up thinking, oh, I'd love to go to the United States. So I went out there to the United States, Louisiana for a month, loved it. And I knew then I'd go back again at some point. And actually had in my mind at that early age, 15, well, not early, quite early sort of, had that in my head that I'd love to go back and work and live there, be an experience before I'd settle down. So that was basically what I had in my head, in my mind. So it took quite a while till I was like 26. And the opportunity arose to go out to Pittsburgh. So I pretty much jumped at the chance. The challenge as well, obviously a new adventure, working in a different country basically. Obviously you're going to have different ways people work. You know, you might be doing the same job, but you do different things with that job in different places. No two places are the same, even though the job in theory is the same. It's just different ways of working at it.
Right.
And the other thing was just I love meeting people and talking sport. And I knew Pittsburgh was a hotbed for sport, and I'm a sports fanatic, so that was another driving force to get me to Pittsburgh.
I can see that from all the shirts hanging behind you, and the hat.
Never leave you once you go.
Yeah,
that's it. Never leave.
Tells us all we need to know about your love of sport. You gotta love it.
Pens and Steelers.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Can you talk a little bit about what it was like in Omagh when you were thinking about coming here? What was going on? What year was it? What was going on in the town? What was the region like? What was the dynamic for young people in Omagh around that time?
To be honest, not a lot. Basically, the most opportunities you would have in Northern Ireland, you'd have to be east of Bann. Northern Ireland sort of split down the middle by the River Bann. So you've got east of Bann, which is like Belfast, Greater Belfast, Bangor, Newtownards, Carrickfergus, the big towns around there. West of Bann, pretty much you're called a culture if you live west of Bann. Yeah. So obviously you've got Derry, Tyrone, Fermanagh, Armagh sort of, but Antrim and County Down, that's like more like east of Bann. So they're pretty much classed as like the city folk, the smart folk. They get all the opportunities really because they're closer to Belfast. And west of Bann, we're sort of forgot about in a way. There's not too much going on there, so it's like if you can get a chance to try and make a go of something, if an opportunity arises, and you will grasp it with both hands. A lot of people go into farming, obviously, because of the agricultural background. That was never in my family. I actually wanted to be a professional footballer, and there was no course as such in Omagh. So I got on a trial first, and then I had to go to Belfast to say it was John Stramwell's College and Castlereagh College. So that got me out of Oma because there just wasn't a lot of opportunities for what I wanted to do there. And obviously, and Pittsburgh's a reason too, as the thing I did have in my head of what I wanted to do, but I couldn't get the experience in Oma. So this is where the AAP comes in as well.
Right.
Almost very laid. It's a very laid back town. It is. It's a bit of a sleepy town. It was a really nice town growing up in. Well, we had our issues, a lot of issues as well, but I mean, everybody seemed to get along pretty well. At times, you had your flashpoints, and it was more. I wouldn't say you just get on with it, but everybody sort of knew each other, and because it wasn't a big town. So I mean, I've grew up with friends from the Catholic side of the town as well. I mean, if I'm totally honest, the town pretty much is split in half. You go up halfway up the street, and then it gets to be the Catholic side, and I was in the Protestant side, so it was pretty a divided town, which is pretty much throughout Northern Ireland anyway. You will have that. So it wasn't the worst town to grow up in, if I'm totally honest. Yeah, that's pretty much almost grown up. Sleepy town, sleepy village, really. Obviously, we did have a major catastrophe there, which you won't go into, but everybody knows about that, which is totally unexpected.
You're referencing the 1998 bombing.
Yeah.
Boma, yeah, that tore up the middle of the town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that I never really talk about that. That's hard for me to talk about that.
But if you don't mind me asking you, did that happen prior to you coming to Pittsburgh the first time?
Year before.
The year before, yeah.
Yeah. So it was nice. It was nice to get away as well. Like, I mean, I wasn't able to go up past where that happened for about 9 months.
Right.
The complete diversion around to go into the town.
Yeah.
That's
understandable. Yeah. Understandable. So let me just turn now to the Pittsburgh experience. You had two, actually. You came out for 3 or 4 months in, what was that, 99, and then you came back again in 2001. You were out with us for, I don't know,
10 months.
10 months, almost a year.
If I don't cover everything, I would pretty much say first and foremost, I would absolutely 100% recommend anyone who's thinking about it, going to the States or anywhere in the world, I would go to Pittsburgh. There's probably not a day goes by that I don't think about the city, people there, the area itself, sports teams. The impact it had on me was unbelievable. Really, I would say it probably was life changing. I don't imagine I would be in this situation if I hadn't have been to Pittsburgh. I really don't think so, because the lack of opportunities that I had in Oma. I think I mentioned earlier, some that I would want to have done would have been maybe be a bank manager. I looked at being a bank manager as being like a really, really good job. And the second time that I was in Pittsburgh, I got the opportunity to work at the CMS Card Management Services on Smithfield Street. The experience that I got there with the credit card management, that actually enabled me then to get a job in England here and start from scratch, working for Barclays in the Woolwich and progressing right through. And in the space of about 16 months, I actually went to being a bank manager. That would never have happened if I hadn't had the opportunity to go into Pittsburgh. There's just no way that would have happened.
Right. So the opportunity professionally was great.
Unbelievable. Like, just I would never have got that work experience back home. And you need that experience to obviously be, considered for a position in a bank. But just to work in Pittsburgh in for that company, really, really good company, really run well company, and that experience that I got there basically put me in great state then for what happened over here in England, because as I said, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to get that job with Barclays and to get to manage a Woolwich for them without going to the States through the AAP. It just never would have happened.
And then of course there was all the stuff outside of work in Pittsburgh.
Well, I probably had as many Pittsburgh friends, if not more, than I had actually Irish friends within the group. Some of these guys just take you under their wing. I mean, we would be in the bar talking away and laughing and joking away, and the next thing would be Americans you hadn't seen, obviously, and they're coming down to the bar, start talking to you. I'm talking to them and all. And I was probably wearing a Steelers top or something, and they're going, "Irish guy, why are you wearing a Steelers top for?" And I'm like, "I'm at Pittsburgh, haven't I?" So that was friendships were made through that there, and then obviously work colleagues as well. You know, generally, if you appreciate the chance you're given out there and to come into their city, I mean, Pittsburgh people are proud of that city. There's no doubt about it. There's no question. They are really, really proud of their heritage, their culture there, and you know, if you embrace that with them, then you're going to make friends there. Absolutely, outside of work, in work. I've got friends from Pittsburgh that I'm friends with now that I talk with constantly.
Yeah.
More so than some of the Irish people that I went out to Pittsburgh with, in fact, which is surprising. So, yeah, I mean, it was just the whole social experience was amazing. You know, they would take you to places, you know, where there were good places to go to. They weren't going to take you to anywhere where you might feel unsafe.
Right.
And that was another thing as well. Pittsburgh was such a safe city as well. I mean, I never ever felt in danger anywhere in the city centre at all. Never. At times after work for CMS, and be finishing at 9 o'clock on a Friday evening, be finishing up, people would be going off. I'd say, yeah, I'll catch up with you down Maguire's Bar. I'd walk down Smithsfield, I think it was turned down Forbes Avenue. I had no issue at all. It was pitch black, hadn't a care in the world. I might as well have been walking up the driveway at home. It was just such a safe city as well.
Right.
Which was a really good thing, obviously.
Yeah.
And I've got that feel every time I go back as well. Like I've said to people, such a safe city.
I do want to ask you about the number of times you've come back, because you have been back a number of times. But before we kind of move into that, you know, the accolades from you have been terrific. So thank you on behalf of all of Pittsburgh for all of that. But now it's been about 20 years, really, since you actually lived here. It's hard to believe that, but 2001, 2002, we're approaching 20 years since you were here, living here. When you look back now at Pittsburgh and at just what that, can you sort of sum up what that means to you now, having lived here some 20 years ago, what that experience means to you?
Everything. As I said, every day I think about it all the time. Relive a lot of memories. I talk about it with friends. There's certain things where if we're out in a bar and we're talking and just something connects me with back there, I'll make a reference to it as well. Even remember the address of the apartment that I lived in up in Highland Hills.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it in the video, but I won't actually knock on their door and say, you know, I lived here 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the I think about the city all the time. I mean, I'm probably as big a supporter of the Steelers and the Pens as I am of Arsenal, who I grew up supporting since it was like knee high to a grasshopper. So that sort of gives you an inkling of how much the city means to me. I probably wish I could have stayed longer, but it's just nice. And I wish I had got back sooner. But now that I have got back for the last 3 years in a row, and hopefully this year will be fourth in a row.
It's good. It's good for the folks listening when they see this to understand not only were you here 20 years ago, but you've been back here at least over the past 3 or 4 years, once a year, to catch a couple of the games, whether it's Steelers, Penguins, or both.
Last 3 years in a row, we're back.
So you've really been an ambassador, going back and forth, spreading the good word about Pittsburgh, and we appreciate that. And tell us about what you do, family life. You know, what can you tell us about who is Alwyn McCombe now?
Probably a richer person when I left the first time to go to Pittsburgh, that's for sure.
Tell us about your job, and your family now. Whatever you can talk about.
I was actually talking basically. The online thing was in very much its infancy before I left Pittsburgh, or before I left Northern Ireland, sorry. And I was actually talking to my wife now, actually, 21 years ago, on the only social chat room on the internet back then, called Just for Fun. So we were talking back and forward on phone calls and pictures in the first couple of weeks. So I was in touch with her the whole time I was in Pittsburgh. I came back from Pittsburgh on Christmas Day 2001. Linda was waiting for me at Gatwick Airport. I couldn't get a flight to Belfast, so I stayed here for 5 days. We fell in love basically as soon as I saw her. It was love at first sight, if I'm totally honest. And came back again on February the 1st, 2002. And obviously we've been together ever since, and we'll be celebrating our 5th wedding anniversary now in October 27th, and we've got a 14-year-old son and a 3.5-year-old beagle as well now.
Beagle,
And
a dog.
beagle, yeah, beagle called Dexter. And yeah, the only hard thing about over here is obviously all my family's back home, because I'm from quite a large family, which is traditional with Irish, really. I've got, I think, like over 30 first cousins and about 15 aunties and uncles, maybe 20 actually, more closer to 20 uncles and aunties. So get flying back to see them maybe 3 or 4 times a year. We've got our WhatsApp group, the whole family, the clan it's called. So we're in a daily contact there. We have a video call probably every week as well. So that's pretty much. And work-wise, I mean, I've been working now for the Morrisons. I wanted to get a night job with them because we wanted to have something rotating around family life. I quit my job in the bank. I just thought I don't need this sort of stress. I was putting on too much weight. Nobody would have ever thought that I used to play football. I was getting too big. I'm a lot happier now than I was a few months ago.
Good. Well,
Life's pretty good. Life's pretty good.
That's what it's all about. What's next for you, Ollie? I mean,
I'm thinking basically I do want to get back to banking because of unfinished business there. Because I sort of left that because Joshua was at an age where I was bringing a bit of stress home and stuff like that, and I was getting a bit miserable to be around, and I didn't want that with him growing up. So that's why it took the stress out of my life for that one. So hopefully he's going to go off to college. He wants to be a zoologist. So he's 14 now, and he's doing very, very well at school. So I'm thinking maybe in about 3 to 5 years, I might try and go up a ladder or two in Morrison's to sort of managerial. I'm not quite sure. I might try and get back into banking again as well. I'm sort of going to look at doing maybe online courses with regards to finance and see what happens. But I'm not. I'm in no real rush with it just yet.
Right.
So I'm not. But maybe in a couple of years' time, Joshua will be doing his final exams, and then maybe looking at higher education before maybe going to college. So that's only 3 years down the line from that. If not, and I do decide to have a spare time, I might delve into a bit of local politics maybe.
Good stuff. Any final words, thoughts?
But yeah, I mean, all those guys who support the AAP, I mean, you can see why they do it. I mean, it makes a huge difference to people's lives. You know, if people aren't quite sure what they want to do, if they get the opportunity to go out there, they're going to be looked after immensely by yourself, by Rob, by the whole team. Like, I mean, you know, the actual organization itself. I mean, it's fantastically run. The people who are behind you as well, like pretty much the whole city of Pittsburgh. I mean, was it last year, the year before, whenever the Irish ambassador to the States was over?
Right.
We're in the Harp and Fiddle, and myself and Colin, we just come over because we were coming over to the game, and I mean, we're standing there with you guys in your convention in the Harp and Fiddle, and I'm standing talking to the Irish ambassador to the United States, who, you know, like, you know, that just gives you an insight to how big the organisation is. You know, when you've got guys like that walking in the door and giving a speech to the Pittsburgh community, the business people in Pittsburgh. So I'm like, you know, that doesn't happen every day when you get an ambassador from a country come over to another country and you're like having a beer with them. So and it's nice the fact that he was very approachable as well. Like, and he's having a beer and having a chat and stuff. It's like, you know, you're like, well, that sort of gives you scope as to the importance of the Irish Institute of Pittsburgh and what they're doing. When you've got people of that caliber who are giving a talk to the business people of Pittsburgh, right? I think that really tells you, you know, this is a well-run business. This is a well-run organization. These are good people here. They've got good opportunities for people to want to come over. If you've got the time to do it, if you feel you want to do it, and you want to make a difference in your life, and it will change you. Yeah. By all accounts, I would be on the plane to Pittsburgh. If I had the chance to do it all over again, I would do it all over again. Yeah, that's great. I'll probably stay a bit longer this time. Ollie McCombe, originally from Omagh, now living south of London in Eastbourne. Want to thank you for hanging out with us for a couple minutes and getting some thoughts. I'm sure we'll be in touch. Are you planning a trip over again?
this fall?
Absolutely, just as soon as I can. Absolutely, I'm just waiting to see what happens with the hockey. What's happening there?
Right, right.
I've been looking at the Steelers schedule for November, and the 15th at home. The Bungles looks good for an
Yeah.
AFC North rival. So I'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll be over as soon as I can again. No question about that.
Very good, very good. Once again, Alwyn McCombe, originally from Oma, was out in Pittsburgh around the turn of the century for a couple of stints, and glad to have the opportunity to talk to him and catch up in our series of catching up with the alumni. Take care, Ollie. Good seeing you.
Good see you. We'll get a pint in the pour ice when I'm over again, as usual, Jim. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Take care.
Bye.
Stay healthy. Bye.